Okay, my name is Aiden, and I am doing in part 3. So last time, Moro saved Hamster Phil and Captain Gatu and the Leroys. Let's just say then Moro had a friend, 2 friends, Mira and Toa from Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Mostly, they have heard that someone named Yahweh, God of everything, has put every single universe together. That's what have to do with My Academia characters in part 2. So mostly everyone. Now there's different 3 universes of I use. The plushie universe, which Stitch had a born son named 626, and with Angel back as a destroyer. And another universe is how do I explain this? It's a one-punch alien universe. And another one is a movie version. And I was thinking it in my mind. And mostly, it's like Stitch hate Angel and experiments after Ruben and Angel got married. So he turned it into a destroyer too, same as them. And they have 3. He has 3 sons. Angel has 3 daughters. Ruben has 3 sons. Like that. Everyone has the same thing, and their, kids are the same gender. Like Stitch Dark, it looks like Stitch.exe, but their eyes is switched. Like black people's red eyes, while .exe's eyes is red people's black eyes. And 666, it's just like how they were originally born, that. And mostly because of that, there's Goku's in those 3 universes. And, what is Stitch was Majin Buu, which is Majin Stitch. And Stitch is gonna look like, Stitch, but wearing Kid Buu clothes, even the wristband things. And then after that, there's this, a competition, the tournament, like for My Academia, but some people are there. So it's Stitch Tama, One Punch Alien, versus Majin Stitch. Mostly, yeah. While the plushie universe, let's say, Lord Stitch. We're gonna call the Lord Stitch from the plushie universe as Lord Stitch. But another Lord Stitch is Lord Stitch 2. Okay? And 6262 on the Lord Stitch 2, son. Okay, so he has 3 sons, while the plushie universe is having 1 son. And they are together. They're fighting. Most was destroyed the whole stadium, but Lord Stitch is stronger than both of them. Lord Stitch 1 and Lord Stitch 2 are just the same power level. The funny thing is that Lord Stitch 1 is friend with Aiden.exe, but while on Lord Stitch 2, the master is Aiden.exe and Damien.exe as well. And then after that, hold on. Well, Lord Stitch, of course, is kind of surprised that every universe is come together. And Aiden.exe, well, on Aiden.exe 2, or Aiden 2, you could say. Well, let's say that they're, had a girlfriend named Adelina.exe. Just looks like a girl version of Aiden.exe. And Damia is a girl version of Damien.exe. Let's say that those 2 Aiden.exe, the Damien.exe are merged together. When Aiden.exe or Aiden 2 and Damien 2 met Damia and Adelina, they did something, weird, that only adults do. Sorry about that, but it's like, boys are curious, okay? Okay, sorry, okay, just forgive me. You know what I meant, right? Yeah, if you do, okay, but don't tell it's someone that doesn't. Well, So mostly, yeah. So she wasn't. They're both orphans, Damien and Aiden and Damien are, you know, well, orphans too, but they're Saiyan Morphs.exe, while Saiyan Morphs.exe, while Damien and Adelina are just original Saiyan Morphs. Saiyan Morphs Saiyans have Xenomorphs. Kind of made up a very good species, and they're very powerful, even powerful than Senna. Probably like around the angels' power level. You know, the angels, like from heaven. And then after that, well, let's just say that kind of hiding. While Stitch, Lord Stitch and 606 and Stitch and, you know, Siren Head and the others are together. And wondering, who are you supposed to be? I'm Majin Stitch. I am Stitch as a reincarnation of Majin Buu, the Kid Buu. And, well, Kid Buu is right next to Majin Stitch, since it, like, remember on episode 2 or 3 of, 6X Bendy? Bendix? On an episode that, Kid Buu was healing and got rewarded, having like a lot of candy. And because of that, well, let's just say Six and Bendy. And they see Sether, he made it very good, well, what if Deku was Majin Buu? That's where I got it. Like, what if Stitch was Majin Buu? So, kind of made that really good. Well, Lord Stitch, 606, Angel, Aiden.exe, Damien.exe, have everyone's cells. Same as Siren Head, Godzilla, everyone else in there that's almost strong as the main characters. Now, well, because of that, I know the Gokus are now into one and able to remember almost all the Stitches that they know. So mostly like Gohans are into one, Fidel's into one, Pan's into one, like that. Instead of the Stitches for some reason, since they're complete different characters. Stitch Tama almost got beaten by Majin Stitch, but they both, were tied. Because there's this hidden evil in Majin Stitch. There was a Kid Buu side. And Toa and Mira and Moro are together. And like, who are you? And then Moro looked at Kid Buu like, that's the creation of Bippity created. And he talked to Kid Buu like, help us. And we'll give you as much candy as you want. But Lord Stitch was like, I don't think so, buddy. And Miras was killed by Moro after he got Miras' energy. You still ain't strong enough. You're too weak for me. You're too weak and pathetic. Even Majin Stitch can destroy your hand, Stitch Tama. And I forgot to tell you that those other Stitches is past Stitch and another past Stitch. One Stitch was from the Leroy times. Stitch in a timeline from the Leroy vs. Stitch. And another one is season 3, episode 18 from the season called Stitch. That's when Ruben was trying to, was trying to marry Angel. That's Stitch. And I forgot to tell you that Stitch had everyone's DNA. It's because of that weird plug thing. It did not give him a glitch. It gave everyone cells. So mostly, even though he got the past and the present and the future energy. And if someone's born, that DNA comes to Stitches. Mostly now he has everyone's DNA. So mostly he's very strong. And after that, well, okay. I hope I'm making sense here. Mostly he has ki, Yeah, so mostly all Stitches have ki. Stitch Tama. Well, let's just say that Stitch Tama didn't really know about that. The other Stitches do. So mostly Majin Stitch. Like, you leave us alone or Stitch make you chocolate. Mostly Lilo, Nani, Goku, Jumba, Peekly. You know, almost the characters that Majin Stitch knew. And Frieza's. Oh, the Frieza's are into one. So Frieza's like, yeah, why don't you just leave us alone? We had done nothing wrong. Like, aren't you the one that destroyed planets? I used to. Now I changed because of that. I'm not my evil self anymore. Mostly Frieza turned good. And Mom was like, you insignificant fool. And then Stitch got mad and turned into Platinum Frieza. Mostly he was like around, Morosa's level. Since Stitch Tama. Well, not Stitch Tama. Lord Stitch. You see, because how strong Moro is was because all Frieza came to one. And two, that Lord Stitch was training with, Frieza. And, Majin Stitch. So he's very strong. And Goku's around Morosa's level too. The Sea Fighters instead of Krillin and the others, humans. And Stitch just beat him up. Frieza was beating Moro up. He had a little bit hard time. They're around the same level. Broly was like, you leave us alone. And Majin Stitch and Lord Stitch like, hello Broly, how you guys doing? How you doing? We're Sheila and Limo. And like, why are you acting normal when there's intruders here? Well, they both kind of have like Saitama's, personality. Same as Stitch Tama and Saitama. Every universes have been combined into one. And because of that, Stitch were like, they're too weak for us, that's why. Don't worry, if they have a hard time, we could just get them too. And it's like, I like this Stitch too. This Majin Stitch is powerful, I can assure you that. Like, come on. You want to beat him up? I let you beat him up. And like, Broly went to his Akari form and beat him Moro up easily. So he killed Mira and Toa. So mostly it wasn't really big threats. But, as you know, Lord Stitch 2, Stitch.exe 6262, and Stitch Dark have became. And they were trying to destroy everyone, trying to show them how strong they are. But there was another one. But Majin Stitch, fights Stitch Tama and Majin Stitch, Leroy, Stitch from Leroy, and Stitch from Season 3, Episode 18. And they all fought, those three brothers. And as you know, that the other experiments have their children the same gender, like I told you in the beginning. And then, let's just say that both of them are tied. Stitch Tama was like going all out with Saitama. Saitama's helping, but he wasn't really a big threat. And Majin Stitch, or Stoob, let's just go Majin Stitch. So Majin Stitch turned into Kid Buu. Just the difference is that this Kid Buu was blue and its pupils were green. And acting like, Kid Buu. So he was like almost beating Stitch Dicey up, but he was holding back. So yeah, and then Lord Stitch was fighting Lord Stitch 2, and then Damon Dicey and Aina Dicey were there. Like, oh my god! And both of them, their reactions were the same. Like, oh my god, what are you doing here? Stitch Tom and Majin Stitch were like confused, like who was that? And then Adelina, like I forgot to tell you, Adelina and Damien are number one heroes, not All Might. And they were glad to see, but they were kind of like, why you had to teach them evil? Like, I wasn't teaching them evil. They are just sometimes evil in himself. And then Stitch Tama and, well, and Stitch Tama and Majin Stitch were just confused still. But then Lord Stitches turned into one. And then, well, the 666 gone into one. And yeah, they're all hanging out with each other. When the angels were gone to one. The Lord, Lady Angel, like my lady, like my Lord. Lady Angel and Lady Angel 2 came into one. And then after that, well, let's just say that the sons of Stitches, Lord Stitch, Stitch Tama, Majin Stitch, Godzilla, Siren Head, the main characters from, what was that called? The plushie universe are stronger. They're the most strongest ones. Yeah, so mostly they're considered angels too, since he has the DNA. And God, chosen them to be the guardians of the universes. And then mostly Goku was like very surprised and wanted to fight, Stitch see? Not Lord Stitch. Lord Stitch is too overpowered. Even, Stitch is still overpowered. He's stronger than Zeno. Like, come on, can we just train for a little bit? Like, why? Why? I like training. I know you're a Saiyan, but why do you want to fight me if I almost destroyed those guys? Because you're strong. Right? So mostly he went to Ultra Instinct, and Goku still were defeated. So mostly he's like, what if every universe has been combined? And then everyone started hanging out. Annalena, Aiden, IXC, starting to have kids. And it was 7.exe. And I tell you that Annalena and Aiden's children look just like Aiden, but wearing Little Nightmares clothes. 7.exe, Chef 7.exe. If you saw like one of those pictures of 7x6, kind of saw that there was someone looking like Stitch. There was a hard line in front, and she has a pant and blonde hair. So that's what I meant. Kind of looks like that. So try to picture that. And there was another character. It looked like it was dressing as a gnome and kind of looking like Six. So, and the same with, Six's children. But it's kind of weird since the Sixes are turned into one too. Six, that's Bendy, Mono, and Bendy. That's kind of weird. But don't worry, it's not. It's kind of, it's just okay. All right. Sometimes, their laws are different. And then Aiden.exe is just sending, and think of him like looking like me, but more muscular. Aiden.exe, the .exe eyes is, Vegeta's eyes, Jiren's personality, wearing black shirt, blue pants, black shoes. You could picture him with socks, and has xenomorph tails. And Adelina just kind of looks like Aiden.exe, but a girl, like I told you. And you picture Damia looking like a female Vegeta, from like this Prince Vegeta's video, like Vegeta's like feminine Vegeta or something like that. It's just the eyes are just yellow, but the pupils are yellow, but the red eyes. And the Damien.exe just kind of looks like GT Vegeta with Dragon Ball Super / Super Vegeta's hair and black eyes and red eyes, black pupil, so like that. And then they're all hanging out together, Damien.exe, Damia, Adelina, and Aiden.exe. Mostly I'll make this into a movie. And then, just then, let's see. because every universe is combined in, has been Hotel and Hello People. It's just that mostly the devil is a character, a main villain for now. But like I said, they're all too strong. The main characters are now too strong for this guy. So mostly he's trying to destroy them, But they will never be defeated. Not even an eternity. Even if you're trying to do it a hypercolored timetable or something like that, it was never gonna work. And trying to turn the devil into chocolate, but Charlie and Becky was just trying to convince him not to do it. Like, I don't care. The father has been too evil. Even evil. It's like, I don't know, kind of like Frieza when he was evil. Actually, less evil. Now Frieza's good, so I'm gonna turn you into chocolate. And Lilith, Charlie's mother's trying to, help, saving him. And that was like, leave me alone. Stop it. Leave us alone. And hit Lilith in the face by slapping her. I turned him into chocolate and eat him. And Charlie was so surprised. Well, Blitzo, Luna, Millie, Moxie, the characters. I was surprised. Now you guys are done. And then, if you bring him back, I'll help you. You'll stop. No, I don't know about that. What was your plan, Charlie? I know you had a plan or something. Rehabilitating demons. And Majin's just like, what the fuck? What do you mean? Rehabilitating demons? It's too late. There's no way you can rehabilitate them. I'm sorry, they just can't change. And then Majin's just like, you're good though. You should be in heaven. And he gave her a pass. And of course, Faki. Mostly Lilith didn't go to heaven, but they're visiting, so that's good. And then Majin Stitch were, having a fun life all together, hang out with Midoriya. Like, what kind of quirk do you have? And ki and magic. And I can, turn into anything in disguise since I'm full blob. Thanks to the former self, Kid Buu or Majin Buu. It's that pink thing over there. Both of those pink things. They remind me of Mina. Ashido or something like that. Ashido Mina. That pink girl? Ah, I get it. Ha 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 ha. And Majin Stitch was having fun and all that. And then what so else? In the night he was hanging out with, the kids of his. And I forgot to tell you that Damia and Vegeta are having kids too. And they're 3. And they're the same gender as the father. Like I told you and as I described, Aiden and Adelina's children. And, well, of course, let's just say that, they're dressed the same as the 7s. 3 7s are. The 3 7s are. Yeah, like that. And 6 is children. And yeah, we'll see what if every universe has been combined at this point. It's still the main character's gonna be Majin 6. And like I told you, and even the past are in here together, then something bad happened. It was Majin Buu. Super Buu, not Kid Buu. And then Kid Buu absorbed Senno. And then, I don't know what you call it. Omni Buu. And then, well, Senno and another Senno asked, Majin Stitch to absorb him. But, now I'm too powerful. But I'll make this Buu, absorb you. And they called it Omni Kid Buu. And one of the other one's Omni Super Buu. And they're both equal and they both fought. Now, why the whole universe is depending on Omni Kid Buu. And then, just as then, Majin Stitch, right? And the other Stitches are coming and fighting Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that the season 3, episode 18 Stitch is back with Angel, not Ruben. He didn't really get married. And then after that, they just defeated Omni Super Blue up. They beat him easily. Absolutely easily. And I'm gonna tell you, I could make this into a real movie. Or maybe an anime series. You know, like a show. Like Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Z. You know, like that. So, like that. So, I'm depending to make this into a official in the future. If I able to make a series. Unless I could just create the series. You know, just like, yeah. Vizzy Pop. Creator of Has Been Hotel. And, I Love You, Boss. They did it so good that they had plushies and all that. But I wish can have an action figure. We can make up action figures. So, yeah. Have fun. Hope. It might not be good as the last two, but I tried, okay? I was jumping outside, so I kind of wasn't doing very good. But if it was good, thank you. And please hope you to like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.